Summit.
Hello and welcome to ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 present the Emerging India Awards 2016. Now the awards have stepped into their 10th year of honouring and celebrating the best SMEs in the country. As a run-up to the awards, we conduct a pre-jury round in 10 different cities across the country in an attempt to uncover some of the finest SMEs in India. The Emerging India Awards 2016 have embarked on a journey to discover the finest and the most promising SMEs from various cities across the country. In the first pre-jury round, the team hit the road and travelled to cities like Delhi, Chennai, Pune and Bangalore in a quest to discover SMEs who have contributed to India's growth and her developing economy. We continue our quest and travel to 6 more cities in our search for some of the best SMEs in the country. We start in the financial capital of India, Mumbai. As the pre-jury round continues, 3 eminent representatives of the industry continue their search in Mumbai for SMEs that showcase exemplary growth and increased contribution to the growing Indian economy.
To make a grade of paper called high ply bond paper, which is used in the textile industry to make cones and cores.
The event is being held in Mumbai, the financial capital of India. So the expectation was to find the best of the SMEs in the country here.
My whole idea when I came here was that I will see some good SME entrepreneurs who are doing well in their life, who have a lot of innovative ideas, who are thinking of growing.
A number of SMEs from various sectors and industries sent in their nominations for the Emerging India Awards and presented their case to the jury.
We develop these brands, and for overseas customers, they are also coming here.
I think the interaction was good. They primarily asked about our growth plans and what the competitive advantage is, and we believe that we have a very strong competitive advantage, and given the sectors that we're focusing on, we see a very bright next 10 years ahead of us. Now, I sense that, of course, given their wealth of experience, their questions were very well targeted as to what that USP is that will enable this high growth and enable us to fructify our investments.
The interaction primarily focused on understanding about the business, because this particular business is not as you call a sexy business. It's not pharma, it's not food, it's not retail, so people really have a lot of questions in terms of understanding what aquaculture is. Very good questions which were raised were about the differentiation which we are as a company bringing to the whole sector as a leading company of this sector, and of course the questions about how we see the forthcoming years and the growth which can come in and the reasons for that.
Some of the questions were more in line with traditional industries and not so much the technology product company workspace. I think I did my best to kind of explain to respond to the questions and explain to the jury what we do, the opportunity that's in front of us, and what kind of growth path we're looking at.
We spoke to the jury about the factors that they were on the lookout for while assessing the nominees.
We were looking at more of how these enterprises have grown over years, and what took those entrepreneurs, what kind of efforts they had put in to achieve this, and whether they have are these enterprises sustainable going forward. So we've seen startups, we have seen some companies which are currently being managed by the third generation also. So we had a mixed set of sample coming today.
I think many of them have a lot of enterprise value, and many of them are thinking forward-looking people. They know what the times are and how the times are changing, and they are also changing as per time. I was very happy that they have grown so big and their financial needs are minimum, and that is like zero. And they're working well and they're making a huge profits. That is called entrepreneurship.
While Mumbai showed a lot of promise, the next city for the pre-jury round was the historic city of Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a city with strengths in sectors like pharma, jewelry and information technology. The competing SMEs showcased their growth in their presentations to the jury.
Fundamentally, we were looking at to see whether there was a business vision in today's times when there are so much of challenges in both the domestic and the global economies. How are these companies equipped to be able to handle the challenges the economy poses, and how is it that they want to take their business forward given the constraints that are there in the economy.
I hope that the jury was satisfied with what I had to say.
My interview with the seniors went on very well, and I was able to convince them what all the questions they have asked.
It's been very great to meet them, and what they were asking us is like, what are the growth expansion in the future, and how did we succeed till now, and it was great to say something about the company.
The presentation went very well. The discussion point came up that you can't think that unless you are big, you can't win big contracts. Smaller companies can also win bigger contracts. All that they need is fantastic technology to support, and technology can be developed only by smaller companies much faster and effective way than the bigger companies.
The SMEs in Hyderabad showed a lot of potential in the pre-jury round.
A few of them had good vision, and they were adequately geared up for the challenges. And they were making right necessary investments to take them forward to over the next decade.
At least I think there were a couple of companies. One of the companies seemed to be clearly having a view in terms of how their business needs to progress and what is it that they need to innovate on to ensure to be above the curve. The critical part in today's economy is that a company needs to be doing more than what they normally do to be able to stay on course, and there was this one company which we thought was trying to look at things very differently.
After the break, we travel to the city of joy, Kolkata and Nagpur for the next pre-jury round. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching the pre-jury round for the 10th edition of the ICICI Bank and CNBC TV18 present Emerging India Awards. Now, the jury has travelled to Mumbai and Hyderabad to assess some of the best SMEs in the country. They now travel to Kolkata and Nagpur for the next pre-jury round. The city of joy, Kolkata, has over the years seen many micro, small and medium-term enterprises flourish. The pre-jury round held in Kolkata promised a lot of action, with companies from various sectors sending in their nominations for the prestigious recognition.
I was here with expectation, with great expectations, because in West Bengal the MSME segment is quite strong, more focused on the core industry, and I was here for a learning experience, just to learn that how these companies are working on innovation and scalability. In fact, that was the focus from my perspective, innovation and scalability of business.
Jury comprised of 3 people who asked questions pertaining to our background, our history, our vision, and what makes us different compared to our other peers in the market.
The questions which they asked was of the the real essence of the company, and I think the real visions and the real opportunities has been discussed with them.
For me, it's the first time experience presenting the company within the jury for my Emerging India Award, and we are hopeful for qualifying for the final round.
I believe this is an effort which will bolster our confidence further, since they were very encouraging and very critical as well, and we look forward to creating history from an MSME segment in this very challenging area.
Kolkata has seen a lot of SMEs who have worked on the lines of the Make in India campaign to come up with innovative business models to bring together business and technology.
We had organizations who are working on a high-tech signaling system, organizations who have very innovative business model, bridging the gap between technology and business. We also had organizations who are in the consumer segment, but using some innovative design thinking. So overall it was very impressive.
The city of Nagpur too saw a huge potential in the nominees presenting their case to the jury.
The jury was interested to know that what difference as a new generation have you brought to the table. So we answered that, and what are our growth plans in the coming another 5 to 10 years. We also discussed that. We also discussed how are we different than the competitors, and what all new ideas we have brought in which has helped the company grow over the years.
This Emerging Awards by ICICI Bank, I think, is a very good initiative which motivates the SMEs to go to the next level. And we had a very good interaction with the jury, and it was quite good as they gave us a couple of very good suggestions which will be helpful for our business in growing further.
After the break, we bring you a sneak peek into the pre-jury rounds from Lucknow and Ahmedabad. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching the pre-jury round for the 10th edition of the ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 present Emerging India Awards. Now, we have covered the pre-jury rounds in the cities of Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Nagpur. The jury now travels to Lucknow and Ahmedabad in a search for SMEs that have contributed to the growth of the Indian economy.
In the last leg of the pre-jury round, we travel to the city of Lucknow. We spoke to the jury about what their expectations from the SMEs were.
I think MSME is a very high growth area, and we were expecting, to meet, some of the cream of the MSME segment. From an MSME perspective, I think we have to look at how they can, compete in this market, because they will have facing challenging from mid corporates, large corporates. How can they stay relevant in today's market space? What is the kind of talent they have? Because that is very important for this sustainability and continuance of business.
This initiative by ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 is very welcome, because it is going to help identify some of the good success stories in even the not so well known states like Uttar Pradesh, and bring them into the national limelight.
It was less of any presentation format, and it was more of a discussion, deliberation, and jury was very communicative, very engaged with the discussion, and the kind of questions they asked, they were all they made me actually think more about the company prospects, company future.
There were some that were socially inclined towards sanitation, very much in line with Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, so that also showed a lot of promise. Their work would be immensely beneficial, very important for our society, and there were some that showed potential to become great. Some of them, I would say, needed to be aware of their potential.
Jury was tough.
They were asking a lot of tough questions that how were we able to come to this level which qualifies us for Emerging India Awards. The jury had a lot of knowledge on what is going on in our kind of an industry, and I was happy to answer all their queries.
The jury in Lucknow had a tough task ahead of them given the strength of the SMEs that had been shortlisted for the 10th edition of the Emerging India Awards.
I was looking at the enterprises that had some spark, right? And quite a few of them did show a lot of potential.
I think there's a very bright future for most of the entities which we have met today and interacted today, and my personal best wishes to all of them that they be successful in future.
We actually met and unearthed a lot of hidden jewels, I would say, in UP, and I think that was the also general view in the jury, because these companies we had never known about them. These are the companies which I would say are locally present, and more so internationally they have done so well in each of their product segments. So I think it was we had a very good day, and in terms of very good companies we have been able to look at.
Ahmedabad is one of the fastest growing cities in the country, and the pre-jury round that took place in the city showed a lot of promise.
Healthcare space where innovation is not only rare but in India, but also very difficult because you have to establish the proofs of concept of your innovation. I believe that we've done all that, and therefore we should win this award.
We feel that the ICICI Emerging India Awards is an excellent platform for companies like ours to portray and show our capabilities.
We had a very good round in Ahmedabad today, and we've received a pretty good response from companies here in healthcare, in FMCG, in real estate, pharmaceuticals. Very inspiring stories here. I mean, in terms of the growth these companies have shown.
It was an interesting day today in the Emerging India round in Ahmedabad. All the companies came from all over Gujarat with different segments like construction, infrastructure, pharmaceutical, IT, and everybody had amazing stories of having started from very small base to large companies which they have grown into, with their plans for exports, with their plans for corporate social responsibility, what they are already doing in terms of their expansion plans, and very interesting innovative companies in pharmaceutical, and this entire round gave very good confidence that Emerging India is moving in its right direction, and such awards brings a lot of confidence and to these companies.
Well, that was a peek into the behind-the-scenes action of the Emerging India Awards 2016. Stay tuned to the channel, as very soon we'll bring to you the final jury round and the award ceremony for the 10th ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 present Emerging India Awards 2016. Until then, from the entire team, many thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.